Welcome everyone. Welcome to the Bridge Builders of Diversity, where we are bridging the gap between the typical community and the disability community, which is a passion of both of ours.
Oh, yes, very much so.
Yeah.
And today we're going to talk about a kind of a sensitive topic, but a very, very important one. We're going to talk about bullying. And not cool. So do you want to lead in with let's lead in with the definition.
Okay, and then I'll tell my story.
The definition of bullying is, I'm reading right from the CDC website, aggressive behavior in which someone intentionally and repeatedly causes another person injury or, this is an important one, discomfort. And there's different kinds of bullying. And one of the ones that we talk a lot about is they call it covert bullying, which can include things like withholding information or excluding someone from participating and giving them misinformation. A great example would be like, oh yeah, we're having a party, we're all meeting at the park, but you're going to give one person the wrong time or the wrong location. That's covert bullying, and it is just as damaging as actual physical bullying.
Just don't do that. If you don't want somebody to come, just don't invite them.
Right. Yeah. Can we just not be mean to each other? But now we're gonna lead into Sherry's story. It's not cute.
No. We'd gone on vacation, and me and Kimmy took Nathan to the pool. And
Fun.
Yeah. So Kimmy and Nathan were in the pool, and this father was there. There was a bunch of other kids, anywhere from 5 to 12, and I believe there was 4 or 5 of them. And Nathan was practicing swimming. The father kept telling the kids to, back off, let Nathan practice in the small end, because they could all
give
swim.
Space. There's plenty of room in the pool.
Yeah, it was a big pool, and Nathan needed to be in the low end. All the other kids knew how to swim. So the father was kind of directing all of that. And then the father had gotten out of the pool and went back to the room or whatever. So, and the mother was there. And I don't know if the mother was intoxicated or what she was, but
or unwell. Yeah.
Unwell. She might have been sick or something, because she couldn't stand up straight. So I don't know. And she couldn't handle the kids.
Right. And we're not judging.
No,
we're
I don't
just
know what
saying
the cause
this
is.
was the children, their supervision took a step down.
Right, yeah, I'm just trying to set the scene. I don't know if it was a medical issue or whatever. Sometimes you're on vacation, maybe you have one too many and you didn't realize it affected you. So, but the kids didn't respect the mother. And my son got out and went into the hot tub, and he was in the hot tub by himself. So the other kids all started going in the hot tub, and one of the older kids, and the father had come back in at this point, and one of the older boys, who was like 11 or 12, took the sprayer thing and was spraying it at Nathan's face. Yeah.
But that would fall under aggressive physical behavior, because that causes physical discomfort.
Right, and my son also has a perforated left eardrum, so even though he has ear molds in, he cannot have water go in his ears. And something high pressured like that. The father corrected that behavior, told the kid to knock it off, because he happened to come walk back in. And then he left again, and Nathan had gone back in the pool. Kimmy wasn't in the pool at this point. She was sitting in the chair. So the kid started splashing water in his face. Now, for those of you who know my son, he has Down syndrome. He does not have the gift of speech. He can say some words, but not very clearly. So he can't really say stop it or...
And whatever. Also, because he has Down syndrome, he's very visually different. It's very obvious that he has a difference. So
right. And kids pick up on that.
Right.
So Nathan goes back in the pool, and the kids are starting to... And the father wasn't there to control the kids, so I went walking over, and I was signing to Nathan to shove the water back to their face.
Flush them back.
As I turn around, because the mother, whatever her issue was, couldn't handle these kids.
Couldn't get them under control.
And so the youngest one, who was about 5 or 6 years old, was the one who was really now shoving water in Nathan's face. The older boy kept looking over at Kimmy and I to see if we were watching. He kept looking back. And
so he knew better.
Yes, he knew. So I walk over, and so the mother's over here, and the little girl's in the pool here. So I walk up to Nathan. I'm signing to him to splash him right back. And I turn around to the little girl, and I give her the stink eye, and I shake my head no. And then she starts saying to the other kids, "Oh, just play," So,
right. I was just kidding, right?
Yeah.
That's a common response. When as a teacher, I hear this a lot. A child gets caught doing something they know they're not supposed to. They know that what they're doing is mean-spirited, and they will say, "I was just joking." But a joke is usually funny to everyone.
Right.
So that's just something that I always use when a child will say to me, "I was just joking." I say, if it was a joke, we'd all think it was funny.
Right.
If it's not a joke, not everyone thinks it's funny.
What's that T-shirt I posted on our Facebook page this morning? What did they say,
Oh,
Rebecca?
it says, "I may be nonverbal, but my mother isn't."
That's right. Mama isn't.
Right. So Sherry had to correct this issue. So what we're asking,
Roberta would have handled it.
I would have.
Much different than me. I'm ready to do Ramboette in the pool. Like, don't mess with my kid.
Right, and I would have just called them out and said, "What you're doing right now is mean and unacceptable. If you can't be nice, get out of the pool."
Right.
But I wasn't there.
I thought of Roberta, but I'm a mom first. So
yeah, I know.
my first instinct is to protect my child who cannot protect himself, especially against 4 or 5 other kids. And then when you have a child with special needs, if he gets angry or aggressive or does anything back to these kids, he's going to be seen as the bad one.
Right, or it's unpredictable. That special needs child is unpredictable. They have aggressive behaviors, which many times is nonsense because they're being set up, or they're being teased, or they're being made to feel uncomfortable. Remember, bullying isn't always just physical. It can be a feeling of emotional discomfort as well. So moving forward, school's about to start, and some places it already has. If you're a parent or a grandparent or an aunt or an uncle or a teacher or caregiver, make sure that you have these conversations with your students about exactly what bullying is. Because a lot of times you'll hear them, the other child say, "Well, I didn't realize," or "I didn't know," or "they didn't say something," or "why didn't they go tell?" A child with disabilities isn't always able to go tell or articulate what is causing them to feel uncomfortable.
One little tidbit is they're a lot stronger than you.
Right, but do we really want to go there?
No, but
We
that's
don't.
why I'm saying they're a lot stronger than you.
So
don't push their buttons.
Right. So on the back end of that, this is why bullying is so serious. Bullying by the CDC is considered an adverse childhood event, especially prolonged bullying. And prolonged bullying can be over the course of several days, several months, several years. And I know a lot of adults that when we talk about our childhood experiences, they recall instances of bullying, of being excluded, of being told misinformation, of
and it can happen
being
in
physically tripped, pushed, hit, kicked, or having things said to them that make them uncomfortable, name calling, taunting, all of it is an adverse childhood event. And we plan to do an upcoming video on what adverse childhood events are and how they impact your health as an adult.
And I've seen bullying even in adult settings in the workplace.
Exactly. So bullying happens in a wide variety of settings, to a wide variety of people.
Because that quirky kid grows up to be a quirky adult, and sometimes they still don't fit in the workplace. And
Right.
I've seen that time and time again. And I know I've had to say stuff even at work to co-workers, like one
Right,
of the
just
guys,
because
yeah,
they're different doesn't mean it's okay to treat them
Right.
poorly. It is never all right
no.
to treat someone else poorly. But moving forward, please discuss with your children, the children in your family, or even other adults in your family and friend circle. You know, I just found out today. I was watching Bridge Builders of Diversity, and I found out that bullying is an adverse childhood event, and adverse childhood events pile up and cause physical damage later in life, including cardiovascular disease, hypertension, anxiety, and depression, things that are long term. So we really need to take bullying seriously.
And bullying today just doesn't happen at school. Now with all the social media, kids can't even get away from it because
Right.
it follows them everywhere.
Cyberbullying is a gigantic problem. It happens over text message, over social media, over direct messenger. Even within school communication channels, we've uncovered bullying on different levels. And it's more of that covert bullying, incidental name calling. Oh, I didn't realize, I was just joking. No, when I tell you that I don't like being called something, then don't do it. And a lot of times at the younger ages, a child will misconstrue bullying. So it's very important to teach your children what bullying really is. And remember, the definition is aggressive behavior in which someone intentionally and repeatedly causes another person injury or discomfort. So it has to be intentional first. A lot of times in the younger grades, it's cute. They'll say, I was bullied. But really what's happening is the other kids don't want to play the game that they want to play.
Right.
That's different. So if your child comes home and says they were bullied, don't immediately fly out the handle. Ask them some questions. Be cognizant of the definition. And also teach your child what it means. If they're repeatedly excluding a child because they don't like them or they're different or something, make them aware that what they're doing is bullying. And you can start as early as their social circle opens. So 3, 4, 5, you can say, hey, we don't bully. We're not bullies. We include everyone and we're kind to everyone. We don't have to play the same game as everyone, but we do have to be kind and inclusive. So
Absolutely.
That being said.
Don't forget, I'm Sherry. I have a child with Down syndrome. Roberta.
I'm a special education teacher. Together, we're bridge builders of diversity. We're bridging the gap between the disability community and the typical community. And we love you.
Please
drop us a comment, like, share, subscribe. Tell all your friends the definition of bullying because they may be doing it without realizing it.
Right. Appreciate
Thank
you
you
all.